Alright guys, so today's video we're going to be checking out the brand new Lypertek Pureplay Z5. Now I'm excited to check these out because Lypertek's one of those companies that they focus a lot on audio, and it was one of the first companies to come out with a budget style earbud that just kind of blew away a lot of the other flagship earbuds when the Tevis came out. So the Pureplay Z5 is the first pair from Lypertek to have active noise canceling. It does come in at $129. So we're going to check out all the features that these have to offer. We're going to talk about the sound and what all comes inside the box and see if it's worth the $129 price tag. Now to start with, before you actually start using the earbuds, you are going to want to download Lypertek's Pure Control app. And this allows you to keep your earbuds updated, but it also gives you controls over the actual controls that the earbuds have. It gives you different EQ options. It even has a Find My Earbuds feature, so you can locate where the last place you used your earbuds if you happen to misplace them. And it also has Lypertek's LDX audio mode. Now this is something we have seen in a pair before. And this LDX audio mode basically gives you a much more open sound. Now this will disable any kind of EQ setting that you have on the earbud because the LDX audio has its own EQ setting. It's already built in. And honestly, I found myself using these earbuds basically left in that mode the whole time. But we'll talk about that a little bit more when we talk about the audio. Now, as far as the technology itself, this pair does have Bluetooth 5.2. It's using a Qualcomm 3046 chip, and this pair also has aptX adaptive, and AAC playback. So aptX adaptive is easily one of my favorite Bluetooth codecs. I've talked about this before. This is basically just making sure your earbuds are playing at the best quality that it can play just based off the connection that you have, the signal that your phone has. It's always just kind of adapting and adjusting to make sure that you're getting the best audio. Now, another thing that I thought was very interesting about this pair was the accessories that it came with. Lypertek decided to give you 3 different style of ear tips, and each different style serves a different purpose. In fact, they even named them different things. There is a Pure Power that's just solely focused on audio. There is a Pure Space, which is giving you a little bit more of an open sound. And then there is Pure Comfort, which is their foam ear tip. And this, again, is based off comfort. You squeeze the foam ear tip, put it in, let it expand, and it just kind of seals your ear that way. And the one that I actually preferred the most was the Pure Space. I used the Pure Space ear tips, and I made sure to have the earbuds in LDX audio, which is giving you that open sound. And I can tell you that combination right there just seemed to hit the sweet spot. Now, when it comes to using these outdoors, it does have an IPX5 rating, and so this is kind of common with active noise canceling earbuds. Usually you see them at around IPX4. So IPX5 is going to give you water resistance against splashes and sweat and rain and things like that. But this is definitely not one of those pairs that you would want to submerge into water. Now, as far as actually charging the case and the earbuds themselves, it does come with a USB-C cable, but luckily the case on these is a Qi wireless charging case. But speaking of the charging, battery life I also thought was pretty decent on this pair. If you are going to use these with the active noise canceling turned off, you can actually get around 7 hours on the earbuds with around 35 hours using the case. But if you just want to use them with the active noise canceling turned on all the time, you're going to get around 4 hours on the earbuds and around 20 hours using the case. There is a huge difference between getting 7 hours with the noise canceling off or getting 4 hours with the noise canceling on. And I will go ahead and say this, there's obviously a lot going on to be able to use that much battery life, and it also makes a huge difference when it comes to the noise canceling itself, because this pair definitely competes with the Sony WF-1000XM4s. It competes with the Bose Quiet Comfort earbuds. This is easily one of the best noise canceling earbuds out there, and what's surprising about that comes back to that $129 price. And another thing that was very interesting about this pair was the ambient mode. Now, not just the fact that it has ambient mode, it also has an auto ambient mode. So as soon as you stop your music or pause your music or anything like that, it switches automatically over into ambient mode, so you can easily hear your surroundings. The mics on these are very sensitive as far as picking up your surroundings. It's almost kind of like super hearing. This is a very nice feature that they built in onto these earbuds. Now, as far as the case and the earbuds themselves, the physical case itself is fairly small, but it is a very slippery case. I don't know if it's just the material of the plastic. On the back of the case, you can see the USB-C input. And then around on the front, it has that single indicator light. And this is what allows you to gauge how much battery life is left on the case. Now, when you open up the lid, you can see between the earbuds, there is an actual pairing button. This is the button you would hit to obviously put it into pairing mode. And then with that, moving over to looking at the earbuds, this is a stem style design, which is not my favorite type of design. But these earbuds are also a little bit bulky. They do stick out quite a bit. In fact, it reminds me a lot of the Tevis, because when the Lypertek Tevis came out, that was one complaint that a lot of people had, was they felt that it just stuck out of their ears quite a bit. They just didn't like the way that they looked. So this is going to just come down to personal preference. It definitely sticks out quite a bit. But other than that, these do use touch controls, and I'm happy to say that they give you control over everything. And like I said earlier, if you need to switch any of these controls around, you can do that within the app. It also has what they call a safe mode. So if you're somebody that accidentally touches your earbuds and it pauses and you don't want it to do that, you can switch it into this safe mode and it will take away the single tap feature. So you will lose one control if you have it in this mode, but you don't have to worry so much about having those accidental touches. Now, as far as you guys that do like to use your earbuds for phone calls, I feel like the microphones on the Pureplay Z5s sound excellent, but you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here.
All right, guys, so here is the mic test using the Z5s. Again, I think this mic sounds excellent, and it has no issue with picking up my voice, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is the mic test for the crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. So this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public.
So now let's talk about the sound. Now this pair is using 10mm dynamic drivers, and I feel like these are very well tuned. Now this is also one of those pairs that you can get a bunch of different sounds out of, just simply based off the fact that there are EQ options. The ear tips that you're using is also going to make a difference, and then if you're using the LDX mode, it has its own EQ setting built in, and it also opens up the audio. So the way that I'm going to explain the audio is with using the LDX audio mode and with also using the Pure Space ear tips, because that was my personal preference. And I thought it just sounded fantastic this way. The bass had a very tight kick to it, and that just works very well with metal. This is a very fast pair of earbuds. I had no issue with keeping up with no matter what I was listening to, but when you have a bass that's that quick and that punchy, whenever you're listening to anything that has double bass or anything that's just very fast, you're able to feel that impact. And it's just quick. You're constantly able to feel every impact. It's just not like one bass note that hits and then just kind of keeps rolling over everything else. So I think they did an excellent job with the tuning of these. And same thing with the mids and the treble. This is a very detailed sounding earbud. It's nowhere near being harsh, which is one thing that the Lypertek Tevis did, but the treble still has a very clean sound to it. It's almost as though they pushed things halfway up, but they didn't want to push it up too much, basically saying that the bass is not overpowering, the treble is not harsh, the mids are not way too forward, but they're just sitting right there where you have no issue hearing vocalists. And they had no issues with hearing any kind of instruments. And again, having it in that LDX mode just had everything sounding very open and spacious. And then it was just very easy to tell where any instrument or sound was coming from. And another huge plus about this pair is I didn't have any kind of lag when it came to movies or videos. So if you're going to be watching different types of media, having it in that LDX mode just feels a little bit more realistic. So my overall opinion on this pair is this is one of those pairs that can fit almost anybody, and for a number of reasons. I feel like this is one of the best pairs that you can buy when it comes to audio and active noise canceling, but getting all of those different types of ear tips means you're probably gonna have no issue finding one that's made for you when it comes to fit and also when it comes to sound. And I do like the fact that the ear tips have different effects on the audio, and I also like the fact that the app is giving you a lot of options when it comes to audio as well. But the LDX mode, I think, is what makes this pair pretty special. But you are going to miss out on having smart sensors, and I do feel like these earbuds are a little large. So if you're somebody that does care about how your earbuds look, if you're going to use them out in public, that's going to be something you're probably going to be self-conscious about because, you know, it sticks out a little bit, kind of like the bolts in Frankenstein's neck. But I am one of those that I don't really care about that. I just care about how my earbuds sound. And when it comes to audio quality, this pair really is going to be hard to beat. And it also gets very loud, so you don't feel like you're limited at any time. But guys, that wraps up my video on the brand new Lypertek Pureplay Z5s. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.